Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Update, my 1000 Days Challenge. These days 694, so let's get things started. Alright, so first and foremost, we are almost at the end of June itself and approaching the 700-day mark. So without a doubt, like what I mentioned yesterday itself, I'm still very far off in terms of what I intend to achieve in terms of this 1000 Days Challenge. So definitely some things have got to change or got to improve in terms of that. So that's something I also learned along the way in the 700 days itself. So bear in mind, let's see how things can change. I'm also trying to relaunch again my experimental trade setup, what I mentioned. But recently, when I retested it further and also forward testing itself, it doesn't seem to be working as much as I would like to do it. Still definitely need some sort of further fine tuning in terms of that. But other than that, going back in terms of the market structure of itself, we do see US market looking very nicely, forming a bullish green candlestick on the weekly chart for S&P 500 and also Nasdaq. A very good sign that we could potentially be very much likely to continue towards the momentum, especially if we open up higher again on the starting Monday itself. Of course, if we do open lower, we'll get down, then that definitely does shows a lack of a weak momentum itself that fails to carry through. But if we do start on a much higher note itself, then very much likely I do see that we could have a very strong bounce in the upcoming few weeks ahead until we see a very clear, strong rejection on the weekly chart in that sense. All right, if you look down China equity itself, I'll say similarly very good sign of being formed, especially for Asia short. We broke the 200-day simple moving average on the weekly chart, so just last week itself, and then we continue to have the momentum to swing towards the upside. So very much Asia seem to have a very found clear short-term bottom or mid-term bottom, I would say, and we're very much likely to see a very continuation of rally. The question is when will this pullback come? And if it does come, especially if it does show weak sell pressure itself, then would without a doubt give a confirmation to people who are looking to actually enter long, to actually potentially be getting into it. And we do break that high, that will create a kind of sort of a fear of missing out cover. Action from the second wave of traders or buyers that will be rushing in to get back in that sense. Right, and then finally for KREP itself, I also do see a very nice up on 20 exponential moving average on the weekly chart. So similarly, there's a very good sign because it does find the support on the second week in a row. So this gives a very much likely sign that we could potentially be reversing in terms of a mid-term or a long-term trend. But I would say mid-term trend looking in terms of like 2 to 4 weeks wise. So that's typically how I do see view candlesticks significance in that sense. So particular candlesticks generally has a much more impact if by itself on the next 2 to 4 candlestick in that particular perspective. So because it's a weekly candlestick, I would say it's within the 2 to 4 weeks wise, it does lean towards a more bullish momentum in that sense. But of course, bear in mind that we still have to maintain about the 20 exponential moving average support in order to confirm that as a confirmation in that sense. All right, and then finally for Bitcoin, I would say it's actually the only one that still remains to be bearish, but then that's not necessarily a bad thing, I would say, because technically we still do want crypto to be a differentiating asset in terms of correlation in terms of performance wise. So if that does happen, I would say that it's still technically a good thing, and then we could still lean for further upside, provided we do see a very strong buying momentum coming in. So short-term wise, I still do think that Bitcoin could still see further downside. As to how low it can get, that's up to anybody guess. Will it break the previous low, recent low of around 17K, perhaps? But it also could potentially be a very clear bottom as well. So let's see how things goes. As a trader itself, I'm definitely reactive to what price happened. But if we're looking in the long-term investment-wise, I would still say getting around 20 to 21K is a very good price. Even if it does pause along the next 5K, 10K, obviously it's going to be another 50 to 40% drop. And if it does drop below that, the key thing is that I still do think that 3 to 5 years down the road, we're going to see Bitcoin the 6-digit mark. So getting around 20K means that you do get a potential return of 5x your gain in the next 3 to 5 years. So getting a 5x your gain of 3 to 5 years to me is a very good return in that sense, considering the fact that that's 100% non-compounded return in that sense. Of course, compounded by that thing is a lot less in terms of percentage-wise. So let's see how things goes, but definitely I'm buying in along the way as well. All right, with that said, I've come to the end of today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to provide comments below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.